I thought this was a game for kids, but my first dungeon has me questioning that thought. Alright everyone, I made it out. I'm no longer in the starting experience. I managed to kill an evil wizard and his abominations, help the incompetent Papashan who turned out to be a high-ranking knight of some kind, which honestly makes him even more incompetent. And I watched the Garlean threat approaching, and I honestly loathe the blonde dude most.
Call me Nero. Tell me, where were you born?
So, I finally made it to my first dungeon, Sastasha. And there were a couple of things to note. I think I had run past this part of the map before, and I'm not sure if these characters were there the first time. It was kind of interesting to see a couple of other adventurers who weren't doing too hot, especially the company with Aver and Edda, where they are just heaping abuse on a sweet healer.
You've only ever been as useful as the contents in your pockets. The gods know you can barely heal a scratch.
Which kind of comes almost a bit too close to comfort for me, because honestly, healing scares me a little bit. I decided to pick a group of non-playable characters for my first dungeon to avoid being rushed, and so that I could take my sweet time in there, and I'm kind of glad I did. Sastasha is honestly a beautiful first dungeon to start out in. I found myself running back and forth a couple of times, taking screenshots of everything. It was a pretty standard experience though. The enemies were easy enough and I wasn't expecting much from it until I had worked myself down into the pirate's den. And that's when things got kind of iffy. There's a room to the left side filled with women, and you definitely get the impression that they aren't there willingly.
Forgive me, my lord, I did not mean to offend.
And they've been forced to do other things, still not so willingly, it seems. I was not expecting that. I was probably thinking this game was from like 10 years and up, something I could play with my son. And I probably still can, because his English isn't the best. But that room? It's the first time in the game that I got a bit creeped out. Still, the boss went down smoothly, even though the ads were a bit irritating, and I have now cleared my first dungeon. I'm something like level 20, so almost a fifth of the way to max level.